Just chillaxing. Hey, so before we actually like get into Game of Thrones, if we just quickly talk about Ozark. I'm just curious what you guys think about Ozark.
I haven't seen any of it, so I have no
Oh,
comment.
that's right.
Jason, are you done with it already?
No, I watched 3 episodes, and I gotta admit, it's kind of tough. It's been tough for me.
It's the complete opposite. I've heard it's an amazing show.
I like that it's different, and it definitely feels like a Netflix, HBO kind of edgy, different show, and they definitely take a different take on what it is, It's kind of like, I don't know, this dude is being chased by the cartel, and they just kind of have this like, it'll happen, it'll work out.
Whoa. This is a spoiler-free splash zone, okay?
Yeah.
This is
no
like
splashing spoiler zone.
you learn this within like 3 minutes of the season premiere.
Sir,
you figure this out right away.
I'm gonna stop you. Okay,
right.
Why can't I see your face? What am I looking at?
Oh, well, Sonny mentioned earlier he would prefer to see the mic after seeing my face, so I'm just going to keep it down here for the rest of the podcast.
Okay. Make sure to get all that chewing into the audio, because that's...
It's just that delicious stringy Jack Link's jerky. Once again, it can be found at your local corner store between $3 to $7. So I'll just keep chewing it right into the mic.
So, Sonny, do we have a guest for today's podcast? Or...
Yeah, what's this?
Ninja.
What's going on, Sonny?
That's what I'm talking about!
That's what I'm talking about! Hey! That's what I'm talking about!
That's what I'm talking about!
Is it?
Smell.
Yeah. That's gross. Why does it smell so bad? I did. Sorry. All right.
Wait, do we have an audience member for the day? Is that what's going on here?
Yeah, Beth is sitting around eating salami.
Salami. He should instead check out Jack's Link jerky. It's actually,
dude, shut the fuck up.
Can you show me where on the map that you can buy that from?
Huh?
Oh, great question.
You that you can be eating Jack.
You can pretty much find Jack's Link jerky throughout the entire world here. I'm checking on the map. It's mostly found throughout the south of the United States. Okay. But as I'm living in California, it's just throughout the entire United States. But you can probably buy it globally.
Yeah, proudly sold at every convenience store.
Particularly in Madagascar.
That's what I heard.
Particularly.
I heard the Chinese are actually farm in Madagascar to make food products. Yeah.
Huh? What was that? Can you repeat that?
What?
Okay. All right.
Well,
just getting the hydration on.
Good.
Time to hit the old dusty trail. Okay, hold on. Let me get some water and then we'll get started.
Guys, I didn't go to work today. I was so depressed.
What? Why?
I just got back from vacation. I was so tired.
Oh, yeah. You just have the post-vacation blues. Yeah, nice. Yeah, I get that all the time.
I emailed work at 10:30. It's like, yeah, I'm not coming to work. I just told them I was going to do everything on remote. Worked for like 3 hours and nap the rest of the day.
Yeah, whenever people say I'm working from home, that's just like, yeah, I'm going to be at home. I'll log on once or twice, and that's what I'm doing today.
Exactly. I wish I could work home every day.
Dude, I can, but I just don't.
Oh, cool story, bro.
You might go crazy, though.
You do. That's the thing. That's what I'm getting at. Like, you go crazy. It's good to be around other people.
No.
I mean, maybe not for a hacker, but for most people.
Yeah, I'm a lone wolf hacker.
Is that a thing? Is that your crew, the lone wolf hackers?
Yeah.
Like part of a hacking crew?
His clan.
The lone wolf hackers.
He rolls solo always.
All
That would make sense.
day.
You had a crew called the lone wolf hackers.
It's just him.
I am the only member, the president and comptroller of the lone wolf hackers.
And the secretary and the librarian and all that. Yeah.
Are we edging, or can we start talking about this episode? Because I'm about to bust.
All right. Welcome to the No Camps Podcast. I'm Sonny G.
This is Akash.
This is Jason.
And Akash is about to blow his load.
Oh my
we
god,
start?
guys. Can we just start?
All right.
Yeah, let's do it.
So Game of Thrones Season 7, Episode 4. Let's dive in. Okay, so episode begins with the title credits. So those are the same as they always are. So I don't even know why I mentioned them.
I apologize. The episode is called The Spoils of War. I'm an idiot.
Oh my god.
I just was
You just lied to all of the audience
Why'd
members.
you do that? Why'd you do that?
But
You got
most
me
importantly,
too.
me.
I trusted you.
Let's continue.
Okay, let's continue. Opening scene, Bronn is bitching about his payday. And Jamie's like, dude, really?
Yeah, it does look like a good sum of money, man. What the? Did you see that Jamie could barely hold it? It was so heavy.
Yeah. He had to use his one hand. Did you see how he used his golden hand to balance that gold? It was pretty. I thought that was pretty cool. Good for him. He's been learning how to use one hand. Good for him.
I'm surprised that entire chest has like all of the gold that they took. I mean, I guess maybe like it's presumed that there are multiple carts full of gold that they took from Highgarden, but even then, like, how much gold is that? And can that really appease the Iron Bank with some,
right,
some kind of payment? And if the amount they gave Bronn was like a shitload. Like he could buy his own castle.
I'm curious about that though, because later in the episode we'll get to it, like towards the end. But I don't know, was that all the gold or not? I think it wasn't.
No, definitely wasn't. I don't think so. That has to be. I mean, you think Highgarden's got one cart of gold?
Yeah, like one horse-drawn carriage full. That's it.
And I don't know. Maybe so. I mean, if a bag of gold that.
I mean, he did say this is for the Iron Bank before it took off. So I don't know. Maybe
correct.
I don't know. There's just so much foreshadowing later in the episode that makes it seem like, I don't know. There's a good chance it wasn't all the gold. But anyways.
Well, we'll get to it eventually, but like before the end of the episode, like before the actual big battle, Randall Tarley says all of the gold is safely behind the gates of King's Landing. Right. So however much they transported, it got where it was supposed to be going.
Okay.
Okay. Then next scene is the guy, I forget his name, from the Iron Bank, talking to Cersei. I think the general context of the conversation is, I'm surprised you're able to make a payment back. And, since we, the bank, make all of our money off of compounding interest from fractional reserve lending, it's quite unfortunate that you're paying all of this back.
You read really into that scene. Thank you for that. Thank you for that analysis.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah.
One interesting thing about this scene is that, like, while he seems really happy that Cersei is paying it back, and also seems very willing to back her now in this war, he mentions explicitly, like, you're not off the hook until we get the gold.
Right.
Yeah, that's why I think that they didn't get all the gold out, because it makes it seem like that was kind of foreshadowing of, this is gonna go nowhere, and then maybe Cersei's gonna let him in on their plans, and now the Iron Bank kind of has a lay of the land, so to speak, and they can kind of strategically make their investments and kind of swing things one way or another.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean,
but who knows? It's Game of Thrones.
It's true. They ideally want their money back as long as it takes to land a strike. I mean, this interest payment, so the sooner they get it back, the worse it is for the Iron Bank. So
yeah, right. It's like there's a tug and pull, right?
Yeah.
The sooner they get it back, the less interest they collect, but the longer it takes, the less likely it is that it'll get paid back in the first place, right?
Yeah.
Which leads us to the end of that scene where Cersei casually mentions that she's seeking after, or through Qyburn, is seeking after the Golden Company in Essos.
Oh yeah,
who are like the I guess a group of sellswords, right?
Right.
So is that what it was?
Yeah, so like
Yeah,
she needs to contract some foreigners to help fight her war. And needs some moolah to pay for it. So we'll see where that goes.
Who was Dario part of? Is that something else?
Oh, you know what? He might have been.
He's a commander of the Second Sons.
Oh, the Second Sons. Okay,
so
never mind.
He was left behind in Marine to hold the peace.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Cool. Then next scene.
What's the next scene?
Littlefinger gives the dagger back to Bran, excuse me.
Bran. Yeah, let's dig into this. This is an interesting scene.
Yeah, that was interesting.
So what do we know about this dagger?
We know that this dagger was used to it was used to assassinate or attempt to assassinate Bran, right?
Correct.
And it was also used against Catelyn. Is that right?
When? Like at the Red Wedding?
Yeah.
Before the Red.
Wasn't it?
No,
I think didn't he mention it?
He mentioned it, but he made it sound like no, he said if I was there, I would have let the dagger go through my heart or whatever, which we all know is kind of bullshit.
He's a liar,
but,
piece of shit.
Yeah. Well, the other things I was getting at, don't we learn later? Like first, Littlefinger accuses, Tyrion, or suggests that the dagger belongs to Tyrion, right?
Right.
But then we later learn that the dagger really belonged to Joffrey, and that Joffrey was the one that tried having Bran killed. Is that correct?
I can't confirm or deny that.
Yeah, I can't remember. I don't remember the history of that dagger.
I thought I remember seeing a scene, perhaps in the second season, where Tyrion is talking to Cersei, I think, and the assassination comes up, and somehow I think either Cersei lets it slip or whoever Tyrion is talking to lets it slip that it was Joffrey just like being a little shit. I mean, don't quote me on that.
Right.
But I mean, what's Joffrey gonna do about it? No, I mean, so I'm pretty sure it belonged to him. But I'm having doubts about that statement, like that statement of fact, because it seems weird that this dagger is coming up. Like, I'm curious what.
What's going on with
what is
it'll have, right?
What's the purpose of this
Who
dagger?
cares about dagger?
Yeah.
It's Valyrian steel, right? So it can kill White Walkers. So
that's great. Yeah.
Bran knows that dagger can kill White Walkers, but does it have any other?
Yeah, I don't know why he gave it to Arya.
I mean, he can't. He's a cripple. He's
right.
He's fucked.
Well, I don't question anything that Bran does, except for just being a weirdo.
Yeah.
And like a wet blanket, literally taking a shit on everything. Like, if you rewatch some of his scenes this season, he negates everything that everybody says.
Yeah.
Which like in story writing classes, they tell you like never use the word no because it cuts the mood of the scene. He is just farting every time he opens his mouth, just ruining the tension and the mood of every scene he's in.
Dude, and he loves to like tell people upon meeting them like intrusive things about their life.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, dude, we get it. You have visions, all right?
Yeah.
You don't have to fucking remind me of the last time I jerked it, you know?
Yeah.
So, come on.
And like, why would he tell his sister? It's like, yeah, I saw that night when you were married, and then he was like talking about like, I'm sorry about the things that happened. It's like, dude, why are you bringing that up? You know, it's okay. You saw your sister getting raped by her husband. You don't need to confront her with that. You know, it's kind of weird.
No, he went all like Dr. Manhattan on us, and now he has no sense of appropriate social behaviors.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
He's Bran the Sandbagger, first of his name.
Bran the Sandbagger, first of his name. Yeah, totally.
That's so funny. Yeah, but I really want to know the significance of that dagger.
Yeah.
It really hasn't come back since season 1, so.
Right, it has to mean something, right? Like they wouldn't have brought it back up unless like the Joffrey thing was a lie or it has some greater significance. Right. So
maybe Arya's gonna kill the king with it.
The king,
the queen.
What's it? The Snow King, whatever his name is.
The Night King.
Yeah.
The Night King.
You think Arya will kill the Night King, not Jon?
Yeah, I mean maybe it's who knows. Yeah, I think so. Like it's not that out of the question. I think. Because I think I think Jon and Dany are going to be into some deep shit, and then it's going to be up to her. That's the whole point, you know. It like started the Three-Eyed Raven. He's going to see a vision that it's I don't know. I think I'm going to stick to it, you know. So when it happens, then I can say that I predicted it.
Okay, but when it inevitably doesn't happen, we're probably never going to mention it again.
So I don't lose. Perfect. Yeah. Good strategic move on my part.
Okay, so and then Bran says like chaos is a ladder, right? Which is something that Littlefinger said out of the first season. So yes, exactly as you said, he's revealing that, hey, look, I know everything. I've seen it all. I've seen it. Don't try pulling anything on me.
And then his face when he said that, he shit himself.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Like it was amazing.
That was so awesome.
Awesome.
You could, if you turn up the volume, you can hear a little. Just like he really freaked out for just a split second.
Was that Bran?
Dude, the Starks put him in his place, man.
I'm sorry.
What was that, Akash?
Was that Bran just shitting on his chest again?
Yeah, before Mira walked in, is like, "Hey, Bran, I'm about to leave. Can you take a shit on my chest, please?"
Not today.
So poor distant, back from Vietnam Bran doesn't even know how to like show any gratitude for her lugging his crippled ass around for the last 4 seasons.
Yeah, that was cool though. I love that scene. That was tight.
So did
you mean him giving her the cold shoulder?
That was great. I mean, did he stop being himself when he died in that cave? And he's become this cold-hearted bastard since that point, or what?
No, see, he stopped being himself somewhere in between season 6 and season 7.
Okay.
Yeah, but in that cave, the Three-Eyed Raven dies, and he becomes the three. I think
that's what he says, or that's what they like agree upon. But his character is totally still Bran. Like by the time he gets to the werewood tree, and then witnesses the birth of Jon, right? And it's only when they get to the wall that he's all like 1,000 yards stared.
Yeah.
Well,
totally.
Yeah. Okay.
It's weird.
Right. Well, it's just getting there,
Just aside. There's this guy on the subreddit for Game of Thrones. So after every episode, he does a screen by screen recap, and he kind of puts his own subtitles. And for the part where he has Mira come into the room, she goes, "Bran, what happened to you?" And then the screenshot goes to him saying, "I needed space on my hard drive, so I deleted my personality." She goes, "Why didn't you use a cloud?" He goes, "Trees are more secure."
Hilarious. Oh, it's really cool to see that the Maester, what's his face, like just invented the wheelchair.
Yeah. That was sick.
Like, let's hope that invention survives winter, right? If nothing else does.
Because he gets his
but you don't really see him.
Tree. Sorry,
you don't see him pushing himself around in it, though. I wonder how,
No, please.
He doesn't seem strong enough. He was like through the snow and stuff. Come on.
He's the Lord of Winterfell.
Yeah, he's a lord.
So he's getting pushed around everywhere.
His servants that do that.
Well, I'm curious because do you guys remember like the other Three-Eyed Raven said something to the effect to him of like, I think Bran was asking if he would walk again, and he says like, you're not gonna walk, you're gonna fly, or you won't be only able to walk, you can fly. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So do you think that's like referencing him on a dragon later in the season or next season, or do you think that just like refers to like the weird crows that the old Three-Eyed Raven could like, move around in,
based on the mythos,
just apparate in?
Only a true Targaryen can fly a dragon. He's not even. He's a purebred Stark. So.
No, I think it's it's foreshadowing for the Maester coming up with human flight, inventing human flight, and attaching those wings to Bran's wheelchair.
Do you guys also see him sitting next to that tree all day? I mean, he's just out in the Godswood, right?
Yeah, freezing his ass off.
Yeah, that's probably where I'd be too if I had his power.
Well, it's better than having conversations and shitting on everyone's chest, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's true.
Conversations you know the answers to.
Everyone just likes him there. Yeah.
What he does is he walks around, he starts conversations with people, and then he says all of their words and responses. and then so they cast him out to the Godswood.
He's such a buzzkill. Oh
god. So next scene is Arya. Rolling back home like, I own this bitch. I live here. Who are you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't fuck with you.
That was
and the guards don't recognize her.
It's obviously cool because you could you know she has something up her sleeve, and she could easily sneak in if she wanted to, based on what we've seen from her so far.
She could kill him.
Yeah.
Dude, one of the guards told him like Arya is dead, and I thought that was just like a cool. I like the little lines that they throw in the show like that, where they're like Arya is dead, and it's kind of like she is kind of dead, or the old Arya is definitely dead.
Right.
That was cool.
And then Sansa knows where to meet her and meets Arya in the crypt.
Yeah. It's funny. The last episode we did a recap. I think it was John and Littlefinger were down in the crypt, and Sonny, I think you said that, man, that statue looks exactly like Sean Bean. And the scene, Arya and Sansa are both like,
she's like, this doesn't look like it. Oh, who the fuck is this guy? Yeah.
Well, they don't have the luxury of binge watching their entire history of the last couple of years.
Yeah, they probably don't remember his face anymore.
Yeah, you're right. They've only known their dad for like 15 years,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know Sean Bean. I know what he looks like. That statue looks exactly like him. Fuck whatever Arya says.
Fuck those kids. Yeah.
Dude, but
I thought it was interesting. Well, like, it seems like with every interaction that Arya has now, she's just kind of unrelatable in a much more socially pleasant way than Bran. Where they're both like, we've been through a lot. Hey, how are you? Oh yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
How are you?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you've been through some shit. Oh yeah. So same here. Oh, cool.
Every time these siblings meet too, it's like you feel a little bit for them because they haven't seen each other since season 1. I don't know how long that time has been, but it's been years, right? Like it's really emotional and touching, especially when you see Sansa smile when she sees Arya. It's like really cool. It's nice to see siblings back together.
Yeah,
especially when they didn't even like each other that much.
Yeah.
Well, Sansa didn't like anybody. It was the same with Jon too, but it was still, it's still cool to see like. It's just cool, even not just the Starks, but everybody. All these like reunions that we've all been waiting for are like finally happening, like in the season. It's almost like awesome.
It's almost awkward for me to watch. Like I don't know about y'all, but it's like watching them interact with each other. I feel like they're doing as good a job, like showing it as you could get because of like if you haven't seen someone for 6 years and God knows what the hell they've been through. Like what else do you have? Huh?
How do you talk, like how do you relate?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What do you talk about?
Yeah.
I mean, eventually you get into the history, but like, I think the first scene where they meet each other is perfect. That's like exactly what anyone would do when you meet your sibling for the first time after a long time. So.
And it was really different too, because like when Sansa meets Bronn, it's like kind of this build up. There's like this music and all this stuff that builds up to seeing each other's face. And even the same with like Arya and Bronn when like she approaches Bronn at the tree. And John and Arya, John and whatever, just same difference. Shoot, what was I saying? Oh yeah, it's always this build up, but with these two meeting, it was like, it would like fit their personalities, fit their relationship really well. And remember, Arya's like, "Do I have to call you Lady Sansa?" And she's
Lady Stark. Yeah,
Lady Stark. She's just, yeah, you do. It was funny. It was appropriate, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, even then, like when Arya was a baby, she was like 5. I mean, she barely knew Sansa. I mean, you know what I mean? So.
Yeah, but they hated each other, remember?
Yeah, they hate each other as little siblings, and it's a completely different relationship when you meet someone else after you've grown up, so.
Oh, and also that list, Arya's list. Did Sansa know about that list in the first season? Like, because she's been making that list since the first season, hasn't she? Or did it only happen after Ned died?
Yeah, after they got separated, yeah.
Okay.
So it's funny, like she keeps bringing up her list and nobody believes her. And she's like, yeah, I've got a real list. Which I guess is like kind of normal because she's maybe supposed to be like 13 or 14. This, 14-year-old girl telling you she's going to kill the queen.
Yeah.
And she's got a bunch of people on her hit list.
It's
like that kid you knew in high school who said you were on his hit list, and he didn't do anything about it. So
what kid was that? I don't remember that kid at school. Who was doing that to you, Sonny?
No, our listeners are supposed to fill in the blanks with the kid that they think will bring a gun to school, but probably won't.
But like you were saying, I mean, she just keeps spewing on about this list, and I think Sansa kind of just shrugs her off. And then when she notices that Bran acknowledges his list, she's like, "Oh, shit, she wasn't."
Who else is on your list?
Yeah,
yeah, but she kind of doesn't. She kind of smile a little bit at that scene.
Sansa.
Yeah, whenever she hears Bronn confirm, yeah, like she's like, "Who else
Bran.
is on that list?" And Bran, dang it, sorry. When Bran mentions the list, and she's like, "Who else is on the list?" And yeah, she kind of says most of them are dead. She kind of smiles a little bit, like almost looks like she admires her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's either admiration. I was really hoping, but it didn't play out. But like,
Yeah,
it's like, who else is on your list? Maybe we can make some of this happen. You know?
Yeah.
Agreed.
Or maybe someone I wanted,
guys.
you've already done the dirt work for. Yeah, you've done the dirty for it.
Yeah. And then the scene ends with Bran taking a shit on Arya's chest and then giving her the dagger.
Clean yourself off with this dagger.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll see what the significance of this dagger in episodes to come.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's a nice little homecoming there.
Yeah.
Okay, what's next? Danny and Missandei have a quick conversation about Grey Worm's lingual abilities.
I think
Oh,
she
yeah.
seems pleased.
Yeah.
The look they give each other is so funny. Daenerys is
Like,
like,
"Girl."
what happened last night? Let me know. Tell me a little bit more.
Well, I think you brought up in the last podcast, Sonny, that scene that she's referring to kind of put that huge debate of whether or not Grey Worm could please a woman to bed. And so, yeah, not only do we know he can do it, but
It's
we know Danny's jealous.
Good. Yeah, and that too.
She's totes
So.
jelly.
Very telling scene. This was a very telling scene for the Game of Thrones lore, I thought.
This is kind of related, but Danny's outfit is badass, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually,
It's
a lot of
awesome.
their outfits.
Yeah, like Danny's
Yeah.
looks so cool. She's got like this dragon chain across her chest. It's got, I don't know, 1 or 2 heads on a dragon, but
3.
yeah, probably makes sense to have 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it
That
just looks
brooch
so
of hers,
cool.
yeah.
She looks like a boss.
Just be here for Halloween this year, dude.
Done.
Yeah. Awesome.
No questions asked.
Yeah, that's it.
No, I think you'd make a better Missandei.
Oh, thanks.
Mm,
That's cute.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so John leads them into the caves.
Mm-hmm.
They see a bunch of what are they called? Green people?
Dragon scale?
Wait, by the
Children of
way,
the forest.
from a geological standpoint, that was just a beautiful formation. That was an
That was.
amazing cave. That was just absolutely gorgeous. And that little cove they were in.
Yeah.
Yeah, really nice. Anyways, continue. I wanted to
I don't know what y'all are talking about. I'm not very easily impressed by caves. So
Who the fuck are you, man? Who says that? No one says that. No one has said that. I'm not impressed by caves. Who the fuck says that?
people who aren't impressed by caves.
Land dwellers.
Mouth breathers.
Yeah, mouth.
Fucking mouth breather over here. Okay.
So let's see. We see a bunch of artwork. We see the 7-sided spiral again.
Yeah.
Which I still don't think we understand the significance of or meaning, though we've seen it used both by the White Walkers and by the Children of the Forest. So it seems like it has some meaning to both races, right?
Yeah, I really wonder what that means. It's like a It's like overall it's a symbol, but I wonder if it has any deeper meaning other than that.
It might have some relation to, the 7 gods, like the mother, the father, the what's her face, and the what's his face,
The crone. Yeah.
Yeah, and the others. Yeah, it's hard to tell, I guess, and it's one of those things where I'm actually skeptical if we'll ever really, really learn it from the books, even.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I'm curious, like in general, slight tangent. I'm curious about like what will, if the books ever fucking get finished, what will remain unanswered.
Was that imagery explicit in the books?
It's a good question. Not sure.
Okay. Something to
I'm also kind of curious of the timeline of everything too, because so didn't the Children of the Forest create the White Walkers?
Yep.
On accident,
Apparently,
right? So they wanted to create like an army to fight who?
the humans. The men, yeah.
The men, so they wanted to turn their men against him.
So from what I understand, the men come over to Westeros from somewhere, can't remember, or the Andals or whatever. So they link up with the children, and then start putting up fences, and the children aren't down for that. They're like, "Hey, man, we live here first. This is our land. This land is our land." And then the first men, I guess, like go to war with them, and then somehow, I think in response to that, I mean, this is all theoretical, I think, except for what I have completely incorrect because it's in the books very, very clearly. The children get PO'd, and then they create the White Walkers, like the fuck is the word I'm thinking of? Conceptually, I that's not the right word. Whatever we think it went on, we think that they created the White Walkers to fight the men, and then how that war ended and how the repeated long nights that happened since then have ended is like a mystery. But clearly, the Children of the Forest don't seem too happy with their decision,
right?
Since they're pretty much all dead, either by the hands of the humans or the White Walkers.
Got it. So then the humans and the Children of the Forest had to unite to now kill these White Walkers that are just rampant.
I guess, yeah. So we see them together in the cave, and Jon stitches his own story together for his own nefarious purposes about how they were united to fight the White Walkers.
Fucking typical historian,
And if you haven't heard once, he's seen the Night King. He's only told us that like 15 times. So
wait. Jon has actually seen the Night King?
He's seen the Night King.
No way.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So it seems like they're kind of trying to build up attention and lead to a love story between them two, right? You guys got that impression?
Yeah, they're hinting at that, but can they really can that really happen? Honestly,
because it's not just like a bullshit romantic conversation. They're actually having legitimate conversations, like how she's asking him how rulers should lead, and he's giving her like actual answers, like legitimate, like thought out examples, and he's being honest. And I don't feel like none of what he's doing is honest. It's from the heart. He's not. I don't think he's trying to like actively pursue her as a queen, and we kind of hear him reiterate that later in the episode. But they just keep going back and forth because like I love how it's not a one episode thing where Jon's suddenly like, okay, I'm gonna help you to keep the story going. It's more of like over the course of a couple episodes, like Dany and Jon are having these deep conversations on to convince each other on who to fight for and why to fight for them. So
yeah, it seems like what I thought, like, before the season started, if someone told you, oh, Jon and Dany are going to get together and they're going to fight the White Walkers together, you were kind of just like, that's like cliched and it's too simple and like it's too expected, right? It's like too much what the fans want. But I have to say that I'm surprised with how it's playing out because it's not nearly as contrived or artificial as I expected it would be.
Agreed.
So yeah.
So I think it's because of the dragon glass whole thing, and it's like just how they got there, and the fact that they're kind of being reluctant. Is that why you think it's playing out a little differently?
I mean, it's like a really slow burn. It's like they're not even being too overt about it. Like I'm not even convinced 100% that like a love story is even happening, right? Like it's they immediately first they had disdain for each other, then they had mutual understanding. Now it seems like they're like developing a mutual respect, and then like you said, in the next scene, I believe it's the next scene, or it's some scene later. Jon is like, yeah, I ain't nobody got time for that right now. All right, I seen the Night King. Right. All right, hey, he's my one and only right now.
It's weird though, because like we as an audience know that they're related. It's just kind of weird.
Yeah.
Correct. Very weird.
I mean, it's also his conviction. He believes in the White Walker so much, he's not going to just give in, and that's what I love. That's why it's slow burn kind of has a negative connotation, but it's like how this would normally happen if you have seen the Night King and you're going down south to get some help. Like you're not going to just, the actual threat. You've seen Hardhome. You know what I mean? It's crazy. So
he's not going to peace out just because of Yeah, just because she says no once, right?
Right.
He's not leaving until he gets that fucking dragon glass, and ideally her support.
I would love to see John and Rob just rule together or something, or have more of an interaction, and who actually resembles more of Ned than the other. Because I feel like he's like Ned, but with all the good aspects. He learns from his mistakes. He's just more open-minded, you know. So
No, he's like Ned
Yeah,
if
but
Ned
I
was
think,
given a second chance at life.
yeah.
Right.
Oh my God, that's so true.
Because he betrayed his oath, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think Ned would have done.
No,
I think John's more likely to keep that oath.
Well,
even though he did leave the Night's Watch.
That's true, but at the same time, Ned kind of has been taking the heat for having broken an oath, which he never even broke, right? So it's like, in that regard, they both are suffering from broken oaths. It's just only one of them actually broke it. The other one is just fine being blamed for breaking it.
Right.
Yeah.
So the scene ends on the beach where Tyrion's like, hey, I got some good news and I got some bad news. Good news is we got Casterly Rock. Bad news is we lost Highgarden, we lost Olenna, we lost all of the food to feed our armies, and we lost a shitload of ships. So,
That was nuts.
We're about even?
Yeah, she gets pissed at Tyrion too. She questions him and stuff.
Yeah,
she kind of like shows that
loyalty.
she's kind of like Cersei, you know, in a way. I think she's becoming like Cersei.
I
She
disagree.
doesn't
I
want
disagree.
to.
I think she is been waiting years to invade Westeros, and being told by everyone around her to not attack, follow her gut instincts, and all these plans that have been set up by people around her are falling apart, and she's just frustrated. I don't think she is as hot-headed.
Yeah, but I mean, her first like tendencies are always, she just wants to like burn shit to the ground with her dragons, you know. Which I feel like if Cersei had dragons, she'd do the same thing. It's only her council that's telling her like, no, we don't want to be burning shit down. Just John telling her like this is a bad idea to be burning stuff down, and she does it anyways at the end of the episode. She's not necessarily burning down castles, but she causes a lot of havoc with that dragon at the end of the episode. You know, I mean, she's not exactly like Cersei, but I think Arya and Daenerys are kind of versions of Cersei, or have become versions of Cersei. And they both, you know, are kind of the opposite of her, like pose the opposite of them. And I don't know. I just think it's kind of interesting. Like, you know, Arya's kind of become a crazy killer, and Daenerys is kind of getting, you know, testy with her power. You know, I'm just kind of looking for destruction because it's the quickest way to an end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can get behind that. It does seem like if Cersei had dragons, she'd be kind of acting very similarly.
Yeah, but it's only Tyrion and the others that are like, no, we shouldn't do this. And the reason why she's different is because she'll take that counsel. Mm-hmm. But even she's losing her temper and threatening Tyrion and saying, are you really loyal, and all that kind of stuff. And ultimately makes her own decision at the end, which is to burn shit up with that dragon, which was awesome.
Yeah. So it's interesting, so she's even heeding John's advice, right? I mean, because pretty much everybody's telling her, hey, look, you can't just burn everything to the ground if you want to rule, right? That's that's the only thing you can't do. And even John knows it. He's like, you can't expect to rule and be a new queen by doing more of the same.
And I think she saw him as like an unbiased, you know, party too, because he was an advisor and he doesn't care about the wars, as he mentioned multiple times. He only cares about the White Walkers. So she's like, it's a good unbiased opinion right there. This guy doesn't give a shit about what's going on. Should I do this or not?
She's like, and what do you think I should do? You should fight the others. Bring your dragon to the wall. I've seen the Night King. I've seen the dead. We don't have the power. Okay, so next scene, Arya dukes it out with Brienne, which was badass.
This is so sick. I loved it.
Yeah, that was great.
It's like Clegane Bull, but even no, I won't say that. It's not even cooler, but it's almost as cool.
You know, like what the Braavosi wanted to teach her. So she's, it's all coming together for her.
Yeah,
she looks a lot better than she did in the other season 2 when she was training.
Yeah, Syria for
she looks a lot better. She's been learning. Yeah,
she was just a little babe.
she's just doing classes by correspondence and just kind of learning on the road. And yeah.
And of course, when Brienne asks her, "Where'd you learn that?" or "Who taught you that?" she's like, "No one."
Yeah. That was so satisfying, dude. That was so good.
So many faceless men puns. I love it. Keep them coming.
Yeah.
Okay, next scene. Davos is asking Jon, "Hey, I saw you checking out Daenerys' breasts. Her eyes are up here. All right, all right, dude. Let's keep it civil." He explains how he's a bastard.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a bastard. My mother and father weren't married.
Well, she's explaining in
makes me a
Missandei, right?
bastard.
Why he's a star.
Yeah.
Why he's a snow. Yeah.
Yeah. And she's like, "Oh, well, we don't have marriage, so there's no such thing as bastards."
Right.
And then I guess it's in that scene that I think the other significance of that scene is that he actually now legitimately learned from like someone who grew up a slave and by all accounts kind of still operates in a slave capacity, right? Without like, the overt like whips and chains and shit.
Right.
And yet chooses to do it because they believe in her. Because she believes in her and the rest of the army does, right? So I think that's supposed to signify like him becoming more convinced that she's not just a conqueror. Like people legit believe in her.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what I liked about that is Missandei was like describing why people follow Dany, and it's kind of the same reasons why people follow Jon. Yeah, which I think is kind of cool.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, like people believe in him, right, and believe the shit that he's done. Yeah, dude.
Well,
that makes a lot of sense.
Even after, like in that scene when they're in the cave and Jon's showing Dany the Dragonstone, and they're on their way out, and she's like, "No, I'll fight for you. I'll fight for the North if you bend the knee."
Right.
And he just kind of like, "No, I can't do that." And she's like, "Your people chose you to protect them. Is their survival more important than your pride?"
Yep.
Like it's the same goes for her too. She doesn't need this guy to bend the knee. There's this imminent threat. Her hubris is getting the best of her too. So they're kind of both sides of the same coin.
And it's kind of interesting.
Related.
It's kind of interesting. Well, just because like they come from their own respective backgrounds, and exactly as you said, like they've both earned their place, right? Despite having some preordainment or like some divine intervention, literally, right, on their behalfs. Like they both have earned their rule.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of interesting. Like he is the ice and she is the fire. So part of me kind of thinks that maybe, and like I only noticed this on the second rewatch, like there might be a world where Westeros is split in two, and either they rule together over all of it, or he rules the north and she rules the south, but they rule in tandem, like in a peace. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to predict the outcome now.
Yeah.
True. It's funny you mentioned that. Like the more that we are seeing happen, the less clear the future and the ending of the show becomes, because it was like way easy to think like, oh yeah, they'll hook up or he'll kill her and pull Lightbringer out and then kill the Night King and stuff. But I don't know, everything that's panning out is like making the future less clear.
Yeah.
It also speaks to their on-screen chemistry, because man, this is 2.5 episodes worth of them just kind of arguing back and forth, and it's very watchable. It's great TV.
Yeah.
So
They look really good together on screen too.
They do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so next scene. So when they're on that bridge talking to Missandei, they notice a Greyjoy ship. So they go down the beach and they see Theon.
Man.
So what reason does Jon have to be pissed off at Theon?
Because I think he thinks that he burnt his brothers.
Helped capture
Does he still think that?
Yeah, he betrayed Winterfell.
Yeah. So there's always that, right? Which Sansa has clearly forgiven him for.
Right.
Okay, so there's maybe that Jon is upset at Theon about. Is Jon still under the impression that Theon killed his brothers?
No,
or was
he
that
saw
cleared
Rickon die. He just
he saw Rickon die.
He helped
duh.
in the death of his brother. I mean, Theon ended up telling Ramsay where Rickon was, right, or what direction he was going.
Did he?
I don't remember, to be honest.
Oh, So you're just making shit up now?
Yeah.
But still, I mean, I think like what Akash was saying, it's still like he still betrayed their house, whether or not he actually burned the boys or not. You know, he still took over Winter. He captured Winterfell.
Right.
Yeah. Right. And he said the only reason I'm not like fucking you up is because you helped out Sansa.
Yeah, that's true.
I would want to see Jon whoop his ass.
Dude, after he bailed on his sister too. I
yeah.
mean, dude, Theon is just a little piece of shit.
Well, and then this scene ends with maybe one of the best cuts to a scene ever, where Theon is like, "Oh well, where is the queen?"
Yeah.
And boom, we're in front of fucking King's Landing. On the high
so good.
Yeah, so Randall tells them that the gold is all safely behind King's Landing gates. Jamie calls Dickon Rickon again, and Bronn finds it hilarious.
Dude, that was so funny. That was so funny. Last right in his face.
I don't get it, but I
don't either.
Yeah.
What is the joke? Is the joke supposed to be that like we know who?
It sounds like Dick. That's the joke. It sounds like the word Dick and also Rickon. I think it's just, and Rickon is just a shitty character. I think the studio is just acknowledging that and playing off of that. And just like, yeah, this guy's such a Dickon. There's a character named Dickon. Remember Rickon? Remember how much he sucked? Well, there's a character named Dickon, and he's got more dialogue than Rickon does. I think that's the whole joke.
I'll tentatively buy that, but I'm not convinced.
You don't laugh every time. All right. He just does.
This whole last scene is at least 15 minutes long.
Oh my god, it's super long.
Do we want to jump in the scene, or do we want to talk about how we feel about? I don't even know how to approach this scene because this is the best scene in this show.
Well, it definitely makes up for the last battle in the last episode, or when was it? The battle at Highgarden. Remember how shitty that was with like the?
They just rolled up. Ding dong.
Yeah, like 12 extras. Yeah, and a ladder from Home Depot. Yeah, that scene. Yeah, and they made up for it, man, because this is a 16.
Yeah, dude. Dothraki rolling in, and then Jamie's like, "Oh no, man, I'm not gonna bail. I think we got this." And then,
good God, I got chills when that happened. Like the whole scene leading up, Bronn was just like, "You hear that?" And it's like rumbling. And then I thought of the Rohirrim, and then I saw the Dothraki, and it was just amazing, dude. And then with the dragon soaring above, screeching, dude, I would have dropped my shield and ran the other direction. Fuck.
Oh yeah.
The first time dragons have been seen like in Westeros, in hundreds of years.
Same with the Dothraki too. The first time Dothraki have really been fighting in Westeros. The first time they're fighting like Westerosi men. There was like it was tight, and I love that. If you remember really early when Daenerys comes down with her dragon, you can see all of the Lannister men just like staring at the dragon. They just like they're completely in shock, you know. And I love that still has an effect, you know, in this world. Even though as an audience we're kind of numb to it, it's like these people have never seen a dragon.
Oh, and like numb though, it's like. When you're watching this, dude, the CGI is so good.
It's so good.
The dragons just look amazing.
Good. Yeah,
it's like as much as we've seen them, like it's like every time they're on screen, it's more and more and more impressive.
Well, I have trouble like not thinking about Harry Potter dragons whenever I see them, and I think they're cooler looking than the Harry Potter dragons.
I agree
so much.
Yeah,
Harry Potter ones are a little goofy, like dorky a little bit, but these are just like. Fucking, what do you think of a dragon would?
That makes you want one. You want one.
I want one.
They're so sick. Yeah.
So, is it Benioff and Weiss? They in the after show little segment, they kept on relating to. They wanted this to feel like you're bringing an F-16 to a medieval battle, and just like no hope. You just fuck.
That's perfect.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, they got the point across, right? Yeah. Like in the books, they describe how dragonfire literally vaporizes people. So, yeah, and then and so in some of these scenes, we're watching them blow dragon fire, and then the minute the fire clears, like you see people turn to dust, literally like turn to ash. Yeah.
Also.
And it was crazy. It was crazy that Tyrion had to watch some of that too.
That was awesome.
You know, he was like watching his own house. Yeah, that was nuts. That was a good scene.
The scenes where Drogon is just flying and breathing fire and flying and breathing fire, like it looks like, obviously you know how they filmed it, right? Like they just had a series of explosives, but it just felt
supposedly they put a flamethrower on a crane and they CGI'd some of it. Yeah.
What? That's crazy.
I need to watch that feature. Right?
Yeah.
So another thing is that Robert Baratheon said that no Westerosi army could stand a horde of Dothraki. Like he specifically made a quote earlier on saying that in open battle you would be massacred. So,
dude, she's got it made, Daenerys. Like you have shitload of cavalry, right, which are your Dothraki.
Yeah.
She's got insanely talented, unsullied infantrymen,
right,
and I mean, at least she did at one point have a sick ass navy, to carry them around, right?
Oh. Do you think she's just gonna take over by the end of the season, and then the next season is really just gonna be humans against the White Walkers? Like this season's the battle of men, and next season's the battle of the White Walkers.
Possibly. I don't think it'll be that simple. At least I hope it isn't. Yeah. It's that's totally possible at the rate things are going, but I really hope it's not.
I
also know what's going to happen. I won't say anything.
What the? How? How do you know that?
I've got my sources.
Don't even trip.
Yeah, jeez. No leaks. No leaks podcast. No cams podcast.
No cams. No leaks.
No cams. No leaks.
This is about to be a No Sunny podcast if you keep doing
this shit. Well, anyways, do you guys think that because I think one of the dragons are going to die, and I'm starting to think that it's going to be not Drogon. He's going to be fine. I think was it Rhaegon and
Viserion?
Viserion, is that his name? The third one. I think those two are going to die since those characters are dead.
I don't think the dragons are going to die. I think Dany now knows what weapons they have against dragons, so she'll be a little bit more thoughtful. But Drogon getting injured she's not going to make the same mistake twice.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess that's true. I mean, I hope that's true because I love those dragons, but I don't know. It just seems like one of them's going to die. I mean, they like to kill people and things that we love in the show, and they're going to kill one of those dragons.
I lost my breath when Drogon got hit. I was like, oh no. And
fuck Bronn, dude. Yeah, fuck Bronn.
He started crying. Dude, as he was falling down.
I thought that was the end. Like, I'm still of the opinion that a dragon might die, either this season or next season. Like, I don't think they'll all three make it intact till the end of at the end of the show. But I thought this was it, and like, Drogon cannot be the one that dies.
No,
like the other two are expendable, but Drogon is the OG main one. You know,
even though the other two have been prisoners longer than Drogon and lived a way harder life and are like the least favorite children. But fuck them. They can die first. Like Drogon,
they're totally not the favorite children.
Dude, I totally nerded out so hard during this episode. Like, you know when Dany was pulling out the spear from Drogon, and then Drogon notices that Jaime's launching himself at her. He's like, "Bitch." Just starts blowing that. That was freaking awesome. Do you have a bodyguard like a dragon? Oh my god!
And completely torched those horses.
Torched, incinerated.
Sent them to the glue factory immediately.
So I'm curious. I'm curious how Bronn and Jaime survived, or how Bronn survived two very close incidents. Like that fire seems like way too hot.
He's really lucky.
Even if you're like in the area,
he should.
Do you think it was Bronn that knocked Jaime off the horse?
Yeah.
It was, wasn't it?
I don't know if we know that.
There's a lot of proof online
so fast
saying it's him.
Oh yeah, okay.
It looked like him.
Did you guys see this HBO featurette after this episode where they learned that Bronn has the biggest dick in Westeros?
He's so full of shit.
First, he's got like 1,000 KOs on the Battle of Blackwater, and then also took down a dragon.
But Podrick has the biggest dick. Remember, we all know that.
That's true. You're right.
Podrick has the biggest dick.
It's a tie.
Bronn has the biggest balls. I mean, his balls are they're like made out of concrete. Those are like two giant swinging concrete balls. But Podrick has the biggest dick. So let's get that right.
Excuse me.
So
I misquoted the featurette.
I would be proud.
2 questions. Is this the only ballast that exists that was destroyed?
You mean the bow?
Yeah,
the bow.
I'm curious. Yeah,
the scorpion. Yeah. I mean, it seems like it would be easy enough to make one.
Second question: How long does it take for Drogon to recover?
Oh, I think he'll be up in the air next episode.
He was able to land pretty okay for being hurt pretty bad, you know?
Right. Oh, dude, he was like flapping around, blasting the bow, right? Mm-hmm. And then whipped it with his tail, which
that was
so cool. That was so cool. So I think he'll recover pretty easily. However, like that was a close call, right? It seemed very clear that scorpion, despite the fact that like it didn't completely pierce his wing, still has the power to kill him if it hits him in the right place.
Right in that opening in his scales, right? Doesn't he have a chinked scale?
So terrible.
Yeah.
Okay. For you guys, rate these battles.
Come on, you fucker.
The Battle of the Blackwater, Battle of the Bastards, Hardhome. What else have we seen on screen? We've seen this one. What do they call this battle? The battle.
Is this the Battle of High Garden or something?
Is it?
Are they in High Garden still, or are they on the road?
No, they're almost at King's Landing.
It's called the Battle of the Wagons or something. I don't know, gold wagons.
Battle of Wagons.
So how do you guys rate those battles? I mean, which was the most enjoyable for you to watch?
I would say
Battle
this one.
Dude.
Yeah, Battle of Bastards may have been the best battle, but like this one was definitely the most enjoyable for me. I think.
I just want to. After this, I'm gonna rewatch that scene. It was so epic. I was so scared when Drogon was in the air. I was like, Danny, don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah.
You know?
When you have this much CGI, it's so easy to fuck it up or like overdo it or just make it like have it on screen so much that it looks fake and looks like shit.
Yeah.
But it's perfect. Like perfect amount. Gave us so much Drogon. Like I'm sure they blew $1 million like on this episode of all just Drogon scenes.
To that effect, it's like the only thing that is CGI are the dragons, and that's what makes it more real. Because like the only thing that looks fake is the shit that's already fake. You know, it's not like a bunch of CGI soldiers and stuff.
That's true.
The CGI is just the dragon, so it doesn't really pull you out of the story that much because it's a fucking dragon. Like it's already kind of fantastic, anyways.
Yeah, if it's something that you already know doesn't exist, it's like significantly less uncanny valley to see it in CGI.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm glad we got to see the Dothraki just go crazy, man. When they were just squatting on their horses with the bow and arrows.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Over people behind the line, chopping people up with their swords.
No headshots.
The guy who battled Braun chopped the horse's leg off. Dude, you can just tell they've been around horses their whole lives. Like this is just nothing, you know?
Yeah.
It's just so easy for them.
Easy mode.
I love this battle. It was awesome. I was hoping it's a larger Lannister force, but I think it's safe to assume that a good chunk got burned alive, right?
Oh yeah, because they just lost a bunch of men at the Battle of High Garden, anyways. So this is whatever was left, and they're all gone.
Oh yeah.
But so wait, answer your question, Akash. What's like the best, or where does this rank among those battles that you talked about?
It could be.
I think Hardhome is definitely up there, but
recency bias. But I would put this battle as number one. Then the Battle of the Bastards, then Hardhome.
So damn, and Blackwater all the way at the bottom?
Man, that's hard.
It was just all dark.
Do you put that over Hardhome, though, dude? Hardhome was like you saw the fucking king just like raise all those people from the dead. That was
Hardhome
intense.
was badass. It was scary.
Hardhome was crazy.
It was also
steel.
It was nice in this battle that they kind of harkened back to the Battle of the Bastards, that like long cut. Get you into the thick of it, but it's so cool because that battle was just like, you know, like horses and men being thrown around, and in this one it was like virtually the same thing except everything was on fire.
Yep.
It was pretty good.
Yeah, I noticed that too. I even put that in my note. Yeah, I thought that was super sick. I was curious who directed it because it looked like the same thing, like the same choreography at least. So maybe the choreography was the same people. It looked really similar. I think they were like almost like they were trying to call back to that.
I'm pretty sure it was like intentional. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Great episode. This episode I think has a 9.9 on IMDb right now.
Dang.
Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy. Because it's just paying off all this like fan service, like Arya and Sansa, Arya fighting Brienne. The whole Jon and Daenerys kind of having more of that interaction we wanted to see, like the dragons, the Dothraki fighting. It had like just everything that we wanted. Theon and Jon. It's like all this like payoff, like really, really let go in this episode.
Yeah, I can't wait till next Sunday.
I know.
Part two. Yeah, but
just wait for the leak. Yeah.
Oh, it's just called Eastwatch.
With 29,000 votes. That's crazy.
29,000? Wow.
29,069 votes. 9.9 out of 10.
Oh.
Jeez.
Is
it their highest rated?
You guys are putting me on the spot here. Top rated episodes: Battle of the Bastards 9.9, Hard Home 9.9, The Reigns of Castamere 9.9. So there's a couple more. So there's about 5 episodes that are 9.9, and the rest. Damn. Guess which was the lowest rated episode? Season 5, episode 6, Unbowed, Unbent, Unbroken. Not sure why the people don't like that episode.
I think
which one was that?
The most like sand snakes.
Yeah, the sand snakes. You're right.
Oh, yeah, they're the worst. That's the worst.
Yeah,
they're the worst.
They're just the worst. The worst.
So, have you guys seen the subreddit called Free Folk?
No, what is that?
No,
don't go there. Don't go there.
Is it spoilers?
It's the Free Folk.
Land of spoilers.
Anything goes north of the wall. If you know me.
Oh God.
Oh, what?
So don't go to that subreddit.
Okay.
How did you get there? How did you find it?
It's now one of the top subreddits, like on the main page. So you'll see posts from there. Like there was one meme where it's like, oh, when someone asks me if I wanted to see this episode on Sunday, and it's a shot of Bran in his wheelchair, and he's like, I already saw it. It was beautiful.
Wait, so should
I'm really tempted to go there.
Me too, but I'm gonna avoid it at all costs.
Do it. Don't do it.
So are we good with the episode? Anything else? Any more to say?
Bing bang. Oh, how about the preview for the next episode?
Oh, I don't watch.
You guys don't even watch the previews?
No, man, I can wait a week.
I don't watch leaks. I don't watch previews. I don't watch trailers.
No reviews. Nothing.
You guys don't like getting shit spoiled?
Who?
I think I'm just gonna tell you what happened.
Oh my god.
Alright, guys, I gotta go to bed. It was nice talking to y'all.
Yeah, let's agree with the same ship. I 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 agree with the same ship.